Welcome to section 2, Programming Bitcoin and Blockchain with Python. In this section, we'll learn how to explore Bitcoin and blockchain APIs programmatically. We'll also learn how to get started with mining Bitcoin. Welcome to the first video of this section, Programming Bitcoin with Python. In this video, we're going to introduce programming Bitcoin using Python. We'll introduce PyBitcoin tools library and how to start using it. We'll show how to generate private keys and public keys. We'll learn how to create a simple Bitcoin address from the private keys and public keys you generated. We will also see how to create a multi-signature Bitcoin address. And we'll also see how to use some of the other features available in PyBitcoin tools library. This course assumes you have some knowledge of Python already. And we are also assuming you already have Python 3.x installed. To get started with Bitcoin using Python, we need to install the Bitcoin Python library called PyBitcoin tools. To do that, open your command line program and execute the command pip install Bitcoin. The best thing about this library is you don't need to have a Bitcoin node on your computer to start using it. This library connects you to the Bitcoin network and pulls data from places like blockchain.info. We'll start with writing a hello world equivalent of Bitcoin in Python. In this script, we will demonstrate using Python to create a new Bitcoin address. We need to first import the Bitcoin library. We will then generate a private key using random key function. And then we display the private key on the screen. In real life, you will want to keep this secret. Let's execute this code to generate our private key. We have our private key. Next, we will use this private key to generate a public key. We will do this by passing the private key we generated to private to pub function. Let's print it out on the console. We have our public key. Now we are going to generate a Bitcoin address. Do this by passing the public key we generated to pub2address function. Let's print out this address. Let's execute this program to generate our address. This is our Bitcoin address which we generated just now. Bitcoin address is a single use token. Like email addresses, you can send or receive Bitcoins. However, unlike email addresses, people have many different Bitcoin addresses and a unique address should be used for each transaction. Next, we demonstrate creating a multi-signature Bitcoin address. Multi-signature address is an address that is associated with more than one private key. So we first create 3 private keys. We created our 3 private keys. Next, we will create 3 public keys from these 3 private keys we just now created. We will use private to pub function for this. We have generated our 3 public keys. Next, we will create the multisig by passing the 3 public keys to mk_multisig script function. Finally, the resulting multisig is passed to script address function to create the multi-signature Bitcoin address. Let's print out our multi-signature address. Let's execute our script. And here we created and printed our multi-signature Bitcoin address. Multi-signature addresses are useful in organizations where no single individual is trusted with authorizing spending of Bitcoin. We can also look at pre-existing Bitcoin addresses transactional history. We will first get a valid address. We can get this address from blockchain.info if you don't have one handy with you. Let's copy this address. We then pass this address to the history function and print the result. Let's execute our program to get the history. And here we have all the history of the Bitcoin address, including the transactional info. In this video, we introduced Bitcoin programming with Python. We saw how to get set up with Python for Bitcoin. We saw how to generate private key, public key, and a Bitcoin address. We also saw how to create a multi-signature Bitcoin address. And we also saw how to look at transactional history of a Bitcoin address programmatically from inside a Python program.